This lesson is about UML. Universal Modeling Language is a language that represents a design in object-oriented programming. It can consist of several different diagrams, but the most common of which is the class diagram, and that's the one that we're going to talk about here. Class diagrams illustrate what is in the class, so as far as content, but also the relationship of one class to another. Because they both involve symbols, many students think that a flowchart is somehow a substitution for UML or even closely related to it. A flowchart was developed many, many years ago and represents linear programs, and it does not represent adequately the class-oriented languages or the object-oriented languages. UML does represent them. The class diagram is simply a box. It's sometimes considered to be a layer cake design, where the top layer of the cake is the title of the class, the name of the class, the middle layer is the members or variables of the class, and the bottom has the methods. It's a very simple diagram. All the symbols that are within the UML diagram have meaning. A plus sign means that a variable or method is available to the public. It's a public modifier. The minus sign means that it's private, and private means that only the class can access it. A pound sign means protected, and that is one that we have not shown here. It's beyond the scope of this particular course, but you will see it occasionally. The class diagram that's shown in this slide is one that's taken from an example that we did in our last lesson. There are two things that don't show in this class diagram. One is italics, and the other is an underlined method or variable. Both of those are something that we'll encounter later in the course, but are not currently being discussed. What the italics means is that it's an abstract method or variable, and the underlined method or variable means that it has class scope. After you've seen several class diagrams, you'll start seeing class diagrams with other class diagrams and having arrows drawn between them. Both the lines in the arrows and also the arrowheads at the end of the arrows have meaning. You only draw lines between classes that are related. So both the line and the arrowhead has meaning. The dashed line is drawn between a class and its interface. The solid line is drawn between classes that might be superclasses and subclasses, which is indicating inheritance. The arrowhead can be solid, hollow, or diamond, or several other things. Association is a solid line with numbers or labels. Aggregation is a hollow diamond arrowhead. Composition is a solid diamond arrowhead, and all of these terms are beyond the simple scope of this presentation, but you will see them. It doesn't take anything special in order to be able to draw a class diagram. Commonly they're drawn by hand or drawn in Word or Paint. Sometimes you can buy an add-on to NetBeans, possibly at some cost, that will draw them for you. And some more sophisticated IDEs produce them automatically. So there's nothing really all that special with it. It doesn't really matter if it's hand sketched, doesn't matter if it's typed. I would suggest in the case of a course, you do whatever's easiest for you to be able to produce an UML diagram. We haven't really discussed some of the more interesting things you can do with classes. Those are upcoming, and they will be covered underneath inheritance and polymorphism. Hope you join us.